This is Naturally Kimmy, and I'm coming to discuss one of my random thoughts. It's about comparison and how we as people, we miss out on many opportunities because we're so busy comparing ourselves or what we have with what someone else has. We're not grateful for what we've achieved, and we don't understand what somebody else did or been through or how they work and sacrifice to get to what they have. We just see what they have and we desire it, but we're not willing to do the steps to get to where they are or where we should be. Because in the Word, God states in the 10 Commandments, and I'm looking down at the paper that I made notes that I want to discuss with y'all, because I want to make sure I had facts, and not just some facts, but also my opinion as well. And in the 10 Commandments, it states, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, you shall not, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that anything that is your neighbor's. And covenant is like wanting what somebody else has. And I'm looking at this Bible app because I'm going to go and get it in today's terms. And that's when I go to the Message. To Exodus. This is not going to be a Bible. This is not going to be a Bible sermon or anything like that, but I just wanted some biblical principles behind my thoughts. To Exodus 20. The Message in the Bible app, it states, no lusting after your neighbor's house or wife or servant or maid or ox or donkey. Don't set your heart on anything that is your neighbor's. And a lot of times we set our heart or we want what somebody else have, and we start lusting after what they have. And when we do that, it brings in greed, jealousy, hatred towards one another. But a lot of times we don't see the struggle that a person did. Like the Mary song says, it's the God in them. You don't see when they close their door how they fall on their knees and they're with God. And you don't see those things. All you see is the fruit of their works. But a lot of times you'll say, they do too much, do too much. Because they're working towards a mission. They've asked God for certain things and they work towards it and they put in hard work to get it. But then when you see the actual thing show up, or they're in this particular position in life, it doesn't even have to be a materialistic thing. It could be them being in a certain position in life. You see that show up for them, and you're like, you get, as the world would say, you start hating on them. And then, is that really fair for you to see where somebody has gotten or where they have become, and you, because you haven't done any work or you haven't went out there and tried to do the best you can to get to where you need to be, is it fair to them that you're hating on them because of whether their status that they have done? No, it's not fair. And like they said, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And in that, because you're coveting your neighbor or you're lusting after something that they have, it's destroying your self-esteem because you don't feel as good about yourself. You're not happy with what you have or what you have accomplished. You're not happy with what you have because you see yourself as inferior to the other person. And I'm just here to say, we as people need to get over that. And first of all, we need to get over that and realize that not everybody's going to be at the same place at the same time. And also have to realize whatever's good for that person is not always good for you. Just because this person is getting this or doing that doesn't mean that is for you. You're not willing to give up the sleepless night that they gave up. You're not willing to give up the time. Because this is what I realized: the more that I ask God for is the more trials, and the more I have to prove myself to be worthy of what I'm asking him for. Are you willing to walk in those shoes of going through those different tests, trials, and battles that person is going through in order to get to where they are today, or to get where they're going to be? If you're not willing to do any work, don't sit back and hate on your friend or your sister or just random people. That is not fair to them, because you're lackluster and you don't want to do anything. That's not fair. And maybe you're not lackluster. Maybe that's just not what you want, or maybe that's just not for you. I think we as a people need to learn how to accept and love what we are, and if we want something else, we need to work towards it. And if your sister or your brother have information, it's good to befriend them and get the information that you need, and for you to make the steps to get to where you need to be or where you desire to be. Seek God. See where you need to be. Because you are just because you're in a state that where you're not where you want to be, it's not fair for you to bring jealousy and envy in and hurt another person behind that. A lot of times it fuels us, and we'll always say, well, they just hating on us, they're just hating on us. No one's hating. Everybody's trying to live their life and do the best they can. For me personally, I'm trying to do the best I can. I desire a lot out of life because I know God has a lot for me. God has a lot for all of us, but we have to be willing and able to change and to seek God and work according to his will and his plan for our lives. We can't blame anybody for our decisions but ourselves, because God does not operate beyond our own personal will. We have to be willing to allow God to work into our lives, to let stuff unfold for us. But we're so busy sitting back and watching other people and taking note of their success that we are not putting in the work for our own stuff. Comparison, hey, this person may be driving a Bentley, I may be driving a Hoopty. Hey, that's my Hoopty, I'm going to love my Hoopty. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, they driving a Hoopty, they think they so good. No, that is personally what you think about that person. You yourself, you think they're so good. Maybe they have this as a blessing to show the edification of what God is doing for them at that particular stage in their lives. And your hoop is showing the edification of what God is doing for you in your life, because guess what? You could be walking, or you can be riding a bicycle. Everybody's at different stages and different levels of their lives. And I just wish that we as people could celebrate and embrace each other. And if we need help, ask for help, instead of always want to pull our brothers and sisters down. And also, I wanted to go, like, even in the natural hair community, her hair is better than mine. This hair is better than this. Stop doing the comparison. Let's us start to embrace and love the skin that we're in. Love who we are. When we start loving ourselves and putting God first, things change for us. Doors open up that you never would have thought, was capable for you. You're like, is this really my life? You will wonder that when you sit back and you allow God to open your life, and you open your heart up to God and stop comparing and start just living the total complete life. I remember I used to compare my way of communicating with her way of communicating. Then I came to realize I am perfect. I am wonderfully made and beautifully made by God. I can't be her. She is who she is. And any good thing that I see that I do like about her, I figure it out and I see what works for me. No, I'm not mimicking her. I'm getting healthy ways of living the best me. I'm not sitting up here like, oh, she can do this better than me. She can do that. Oh, she's better than me. No, I'm not. We work together as friends to become better. I teach her things. She teach me things. There was a phase where she taught me a lot of stuff. And I'm grateful for that I open myself up and I allow myself the opportunity to be poured into, because at that time I didn't know. My mom passed when I was young. I was 8 years old. There's a lot of things about being a woman that I didn't know. But God gave me people to help me along this journey, to help me be the woman that I know, that I am today. And I just thank God for that. Because imagine if I got it stuck in my head and stuck in the defeated mindset of I'm not good enough. My voice is this, my voice is that. God can't use that if you stuck in your head beating yourself up all the time talking about how you're not good enough. We're all good enough. We all come in different shapes, sizes, different dialects. We come differently. But God uses us all if we just get out of our own way. You know, and my thing is, I just realized I spent so many years in the comparison. Not saying I did it out loud. I would do it in my head. And that's a trick of the enemy anyway. You stay in your head. I stayed in my head all the time with whatever I was feeling. And then I went and verbalized it. And I've learned even through that, don't be so competitive that we beat ourselves up and we don't advance how we feel we should be advancing, or we don't advance where we should be, or we lose out on many opportunities that God would have given us if we've gotten out our own head in our own way. I just wish and I pray that we all just learn how to be, if we're going to be doing a comparison, make it positive. Make it positive. Do a positive spin on it, because we all get in there, we feel inferior to somebody. We're going to walk and we're going to feel inferior. But you say, you know what? I am good enough. I am worthy enough. I am just as good as this person. And if you need some more education, go back to school and get your education. If you need more anything, seek out the sources to get what you need. But don't beat down your fellow friend because you don't feel good enough. You need to love you first. First love God, then love yourself. Because in that, you'll learn the comparison is just a trick of the enemy to keep you stay in one spot. Because the more you compare, the more you feel bad about yourself, the more you don't accomplish whatever God intended for you to accomplish on this earth. Everybody here is different. Everybody here is unique. Because I did realize that in the natural hair community that they do the comparison. Well, your curls are looser than mine. My curl don't curl like yours, and this, that. So that's why I don't think I'm going to be able to be natural. I'm not going natural because my hair don't look like this or that. What does it matter? You can take care of your hair regardless. We all can. And I just hope and pray that we just start opening up and allowing ourselves to get out of the comparison phase, because comparison will have you stuck in bondage. And you don't even realize how far you had not moved from the last time you was comparing yourself with the last person. And then also, in that, there's a lot of dying to myself that I had to do so I can allow God's will to be done to get this comparison out. Because I didn't have enough money. My marriage, I got a divorce. It's a lot of things that happened to me that I can sit and do the comparison about, well, she married or she doing it. What does it matter at the end of the day? None of that matters what somebody else is doing. This is my life. I'm a divorced lady. I work full time. I'm a co-parent of 4. And I just love my life for what it is. I'm living my life to the fullest. I want to be the best I can be for God. But I realize that if I continue on with the comparison thing, I won't be any good for anybody. Not even just for God, but for myself. Because you don't go anywhere, you don't get anything. And when I realized that, when I really finally stopped doing the comparison, my life was much fuller. My life was much happier, because I always felt down in the dumps when I was in a comparison. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I was going to give up. But in taking away comparison, my life is full, it is rich, and I'm happy. And I have joy. And joy comes from God. Joy comes from peace. I'm happy because I'm not comparing myself with the next person, what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I know with social media, a lot of comparison goes on. But y'all need to be real about the thing. Yeah, that's probably what they're saying their life is on Facebook, but it's that their real life. You don't know what goes on whenever they're not posting. Or when they're posting, you don't know what goes on really in people's homes. We just assume everything is perfect because that's what you see. Nobody's going to show you their nappy head. Nobody's going to show you that their house nasty. Nobody does that. They're going to show you the clean, refreshed self. Nobody shows you the bad parts of their lives. Not on social media. If it do, they're really open. But on Facebook, no. That's just snapshots of what they want the world to know about themselves, or their friends and family to know about themselves. But no, that is not the real. And in order to further God's kingdom, I just wish that everybody would let go of the comparison, and you'll see how much the load that you carry will be decreased. I'm not saying there still won't be any other issues you may have, but I'm telling you, that comparison is a thief. You don't have what you think you should have. You don't have what you should have. You're not going to have what you think you should have as long as you're sitting up there looking at somebody else's stuff instead of taking care of what God has already given you. God has given us so much, and we don't even appreciate. If I give my kid a sucker and they threw that sucker in the trash, in the dirt, and did not appreciate it, you think I'm going to go give them 3 more suckers? No. Appreciate what you have at this moment. Appreciate and love everything you have now. Appreciate it, and then more will be added. Just seek God, and stop looking at what the next person on beside you have. That's not your stuff. That's not what you put in your work and your prayers for. That's not what God is building you for. And if it is, maybe you're not ready for it just yet. Just because you ask God for it doesn't mean you're ready for it. I can ask for $1 million. That don't mean I'm ready for it, because what would I do with it? I know we all say we'll do this and this and that. I already know. I have my dreams too, what I would do with it. But am I ready for it? You always have to think about, am I ready to do what I'm supposed to do versus I want more, I want more, I want more. Remember, whatever you ask for is going to be work to get it. It's not just going to be given to you, because I got to make sure you are able and capable of maintaining. Because if it's given to you on a shaky ground, it's going to fall. You're not going to keep it. But if it's given to you on a solid ground, it's yours. If it's built up, God has built you up to be able to receive it. It is yours. If you go and steal it, it's not yours. That's the shaky ground. If you go and manipulate to get it, it's not yours. So what the main thing I'm saying, don't get to looking at this person over here and seeing what they have and like, oh, so-and-so got that, they think they're this and that, or so-and-so thinks she's something because she got a new car. She is something. She is who she is. She is a female, or he. He is something. He is somebody. We always want to sit up there and look at somebody and tear them down because of their advancements or what they're getting and achieving. But look at your own life and get out your own way so you can live the full life that God has created for you. If you get out your own way and out your own head and just do it. Just do it. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of opportunities. We miss a lot of opportunities for our own fears. But if we just allow God to be God and move into the thing, He will open up the door and bless you. If it's according to His will and His plan for your life. That's why I say seek God first. Stop doing a comparison.